Welcome to Lesson 15. In this lesson, we'll explore the first phase of the ADDIE model, analysis. This phase is the foundation of any successful instructional design project. It's all about identifying learner needs, understanding performance gaps, and clarifying organizational goals. Without a strong analysis, subsequent design decisions risk being irrelevant or misaligned with real needs. We'll provide practical examples that illustrate how to collect the right data for a comprehensive needs analysis. Think of this phase as your map. It guides the entire project. You'll learn about data collection methods like surveys, interviews, and observation. Each tool serves a purpose in pinpointing exactly what learners need to know. By gathering the right insights, you can ensure that the learning objectives you set are both feasible and impactful. Let's get started on understanding why analysis is the critical first step in instructional design. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define just-in-time learning and explain its role in performance improvement. You'll identify the core design principles that make just-in-time learning effective. We'll explore examples and tools that demonstrate how this method works in modern organizations. You'll also learn how to design content that avoids cognitive overload and keeps learning focused on immediate needs. Finally, you'll apply best practices for implementing and measuring success. These objectives build on the foundational knowledge from previous lessons, ensuring your understanding grows with each topic. The focus here is on practicality. Everything we cover today is intended for real-world application. You'll see how the right balance of timing, delivery, and accessibility can turn learning into an everyday tool. The goal is to make training less about remembering and more about doing. As you move through each slide, reflect on how these principles can apply to your own learning projects. Remember, good instructional design doesn't just deliver information, it delivers performance outcomes. Keep that mindset as we progress through the lesson. Before diving into today's topic, let's revisit what we learned in Lesson 13. We discussed how creating a culture of learning forms the foundation for all effective training initiatives. A strong learning culture supports curiosity and encourages people to experiment and share knowledge. We explored how leadership buy-in is essential for engagement and long-term sustainability. Recognition and reward systems play a huge role in reinforcing desired learning behaviors. Without a supportive culture, even the best designed training programs fail to take root. The idea of continuous learning connects directly to the topic of just-in-time learning. When culture values knowledge and growth, employees naturally seek out quick, practical resources to help them perform. This makes JIT learning a natural extension of a learning-oriented environment. In fact, organizations with strong learning cultures often adopt JIT methods more successfully. As you'll see in this lesson, just-in-time learning is both a product and a driver of learning culture. It turns curiosity into action and information into results. Keep that connection in mind as we move forward. The first step in the analysis phase is understanding learner needs. This involves analyzing learners' backgrounds, prior experiences, and existing skills. Start by assessing what learners already know and what gaps exist in their knowledge. This helps to pinpoint areas where training will have the most impact. Use tools like assessments and self-evaluations to gather this data. In addition, consider the learner's role within the organization and how their knowledge directly impacts performance. Once you've assessed their needs, align those findings with business goals. This ensures that the learning program contributes to both individual development and organizational success. Identifying these gaps accurately will allow you to design training that's focused, relevant, and impactful. Once you've identified learner needs, the next step is to collect relevant data. The most common methods for this are surveys, interviews, and observations. Surveys are excellent for gathering broad insights from a large group, allowing you to understand general trends and common issues. Interviews, on the other hand, are more personal and offer deeper insights into individual experiences and challenges. They provide context and nuance that surveys may miss. Observation is another valuable method, especially for understanding behavior in real time. Observing learners in their work environment helps you identify not only what they know, but how they apply that knowledge. Each of these methods has its advantages. And using a combination will give you a well-rounded understanding of the needs. By leveraging these techniques, you can gather accurate, actionable data to inform the design process. Now that you've collected data, it's time to identify performance gaps. A performance gap is the difference between what's happening now and what should be happening. Start by clearly defining the desired outcomes, what successful performance looks like. Then compare that to current results or behaviors. Once you see the difference, analyze why the gap exists. Is it a skills issue, a lack of resources, low motivation, or perhaps an unclear process? Not every performance issue can be solved with training, so it's essential to identify whether learning is the right solution. For instance, if employees know what to do but lack the tools to do it, the problem may be operational rather than instructional. A good analysis helps you focus your training only where it will make a measurable difference. This step ensures your solutions are targeted, efficient, and impactful. A critical part of the analysis phase is ensuring that learning objectives align with organizational goals. When training supports the company's strategic direction, it gains stronger leadership support and higher engagement from participants. Begin by understanding your organization's key business priorities, whether that's improving customer satisfaction, boosting productivity, or increasing innovation. Next, translate those priorities into measurable learning outcomes. For example, if the business goal is to enhance customer satisfaction, your learning objective might focus on strengthening communication and problem-solving skills. Always tie your objectives to metrics leadership cares about. This demonstrates clear ROI and ensures that training is viewed as a valuable investment. Additionally, involve stakeholders early in the process. Their input not only refines your analysis, but also builds buy-in for future implementation. Alignment ensures that training feels purposeful and connected to the larger mission. This lesson's featured resource is Performance-Focused Smile Sheets by Will Thalheimer. This book challenges traditional ways of measuring training effectiveness, particularly the over-reliance on learner satisfaction surveys. Thalheimer introduces tools and templates that help you focus on performance results instead of surface-level reactions. This aligns perfectly with the analysis phase of the ADDIE model, where accurate evaluation and alignment are crucial. The resource encourages you to think critically about how you gather and interpret feedback. By using performance-focused evaluation methods, you can strengthen every stage of your instructional design process. It's a practical, research-based read for anyone serious about evidence-driven design. The analysis phase is the bedrock of the entire ADDIE process. Without it, design decisions are often based on assumptions rather than facts. A solid analysis ensures your learning solutions address the right problems and deliver real results. It saves time and money by preventing ineffective training. When you understand your learners and their environment, your design naturally becomes more relevant and impactful. This step also builds credibility with leadership because your recommendations are evidence-based. In short, analysis provides direction, clarity, and purpose to everything that follows. Remember, one good analysis doesn't just describe the current state, it explains why it exists and what needs to change. You've now completed the analysis phase of the ADDIE model. Take time to review the tools and techniques you've learned in this lesson. If possible, try conducting a small-scale needs assessment in your own workplace or project environment. This will help you put theory into practice right away. In our next lesson, we'll move into D is for design, where you'll transform your analysis findings into structured learning objectives, storyboards, and assessments. Each phase builds on the last. And now, with a strong analytical foundation, your designs will be more focused and effective. Section 3 continues with practical applications of ADDIE, so be ready to explore how to bring your learning strategy to life.